Right, I think we can start with the session. You can all see me. Good morning. Welcome to today's webinar. As we normally do with these Friday morning webinars, we try to give some information, some free information about latest developments in Business Central and a few other topics. Today is, as you saw from the title, it's particularly some news about our portal app, and then also just an overview of some of the other apps that we have on offer from Link, and also how you can find out more about specific apps and where to find that information and navigate through it. I'll be switching off my camera in a few minutes, and then I'll be sharing my screen to start taking you through the content. Let me just share my screen now, and then I can get a thumbs up from somebody once you are able to see it. Right. Thank you very much. I saw the thumbs ups. Okay, so we're going to start off first by talking about the Link portal app. That's what you're seeing on the screen now. Before I go into the details, let me just give a little bit of background. A couple of years ago, we started the development of a portal app, and it's been running with a few customers now for over a year, quite successfully. Some challenges and ironing out of some issues from time to time, but recently we made a decision to launch a new version of the portal app. It's essentially a rewrite of the front end of the portal app into a new platform. The reason we did that was for a couple of reasons. One, we wanted to get a better, more modern framework for the front end. We also wanted to reduce our dependencies on external developers for the front end, which we believe will greatly reduce the turnaround time for some of the feature developments that we often have to handle on the portal. Let me just admit some of these people. There we go. And so in essence, what is the portal app? The portal app gives you, a Business Central customer of ours, the ability to create logins in your Business Central environment for users of your customers and or users of your vendors, so that you can share relevant information with your customers or your vendors by them logging into this portal which we host on your behalf. So when they log into the Link portal, they use a username and password that you can control and yet you give them. It doesn't use a Business Central user license or anything like that. It's just a portal user you create in your BC database, and you can send them their login details directly from within BC with a button that sends an email to them with their credentials. They log into that URL with their username and password, and what they will see, which I'll take you through now, is live data that comes from your Business Central live as they click around in the portal. And we'll be looking at 3 different flavors of the portal. The one flavor is the customer portal, So you give your customers access to this portal so that they can see orders that you are executing on them, that they've placed with you, see the deliveries you've made to them, a dashboard, see their statement, look at their transactions, and any files and reports that you may want to share with them. We'll also be looking at a vendor portal, which you can give your vendors same information, just the other way around, what their financial situation is, their account, a dashboard, any orders that you've placed on them, and deliveries that they have made to you with some information, their transactions and files and reports as well. And then the third version of the portal that we look at is also a vendor portal, but it's a flavor that's specifically developed for ProduceLink customers of ours to give their producers access to information in BC, such as also a dashboard, also their transaction listing, but also quality information about their products and the ability to download invoices, download produce bill sheets, etc., etc. So we look at those three versions now, starting with the customer dashboard. You'll see I'm logged in here. This currently says customer portal because it's a demo, but if you are a user of this, subscriber of this portal, your users, when they log in, your customers will see the name of your company, such as, let's say RM Logistics Customer Portal. And this demo company, Pty Limited, will be the name of your customer company logging into the portal. For you who are in the call this morning, when I go through this data, you might recognize some transactions from your own company. It's because we've pumped this demo environment filled it with some demo data from some of our existing portal users. We've made sure that we don't share too much secret information, obviously. All right, so just a reminder before we get going too far, there is a Q&A section on the Teams meeting. So feel free, as you think of a question, to type something into that Q&A section, and then I'll review it either as we go along or at the end of the call. Okay. All right, let's get this away. So the customer portal, again, like I said, your customer logs in with a username and password. It's very simple. It authenticates them there and then against your BC tenant, limits the data that they can see to whatever customer number in your BC environment you linked to that particular user. The dashboard currently displays your customer's current account balance, any overdue balance that they have with you as of now, as of today. Then it's got invoice credit and payment summaries for current year to date, for this current month, and for the same month last year. Any upcoming orders will be listed here. This would be sales orders to your customer that are due for delivery after today or beyond. So it'll be listed here. And then the sample data at the bottom is just showing deliveries that you've made to them over the last year per month, and split up between what was late delivered and on time. The graphs and the data that we can show here, and the information in this financial section here is especially with our new portal and our new framework, it's easy for us to add new bits of information. So if you have a request, we can certainly add it here, different graphs, more graphs, etc. So this is the dashboard. If your customer clicks on the orders list, it's connecting to your, sorry, let me just reload this demo environment. Give me a second, please. Right. So the orders should list. This is the order listing. So it shows the order number, the reference number. This will be their external document number. This will be where to deliver the product. What was the requested delivery date? What's the value of the order? And the status of the order. Completely delivered, partial, or still upcoming will be indicated here. And then you can filter on the different kinds of orders, load more from the database, etc. Then we have find options here. The quick find option will look at data has been loaded from the database and look at any of the text field, order number, reference number, etc., and search on that data quite fast. So let's say, 1925, you'll see that 7, it changes as I type very fast. Whereas if you want to do a more extensive database search, you type it in here, you click fetch, and then it goes back to your BC server and tries to find the data that the user is looking for. This download button here will download the list of orders as an Excel sheet if your customer wants to do that. The view button here will open a specific order with the information here, showing the order lines. And if some of the orders, like in a partial delivery, if some of the lines were delivered, you see this is all open, so the whole order is red. But if there's a mix of lines that were delivered and not, then there will be different colors in this pie chart here. The deliveries is just a summary of the shipments you have delivered to your customer. And the great thing with this is that you can filter on what was on time, what was earlier, what was late. But if you have a mechanism with which you attach proof of deliveries or something like that to your sales shipments, then this is also a way for you to attach those proof of deliveries here, and your customer can find them and download them straight from the portal as well. So let's have a look at some of these. I'll just reload this data for us. Remember, this is reading live data from your Business Central environment. Sorry for that. Here we go. So let's see if we can download this image. And it's should be downloading now. Here we go. Whether it's a JPEG or a PDF or whatever file you've attached to your sales shipments in BC will be downloadable here. Just wait for that download to finish. It's obviously fetching the information from BC. The little wheels will stop rolling once it's been downloaded. This is a test environment, so please bear with us. I knew I was going to be brave to show you live connections. Yeah, I think let's proceed with the rest of the list of items in the customer portal. So that's the deliveries, and I don't know. Please bear with me. A slight issue. Apologies. Okay, so that's the deliveries. I'll show you that in a second. The statement option is for your customers to be able to see a summary of their latest statement. And we have three versions of the data. The open items, so it's items that haven't been applied or haven't been settled yet. The last month version, which is like a balance brought forward version of the statement, showing an open balance with the last month's transaction and the closing balance. And then if there is an overdue balance, clicking on overdue will show those overdue items for the customer. And then there is this option here, this download button. This download button will download the last statement you generated for your customer in BC and was attached to their customer record. Now we have a function in Business Central that when you do your month-end statement runs, either instead of or in addition to sending out your statements to all your customers in bulk, that function will run the statement per customer and attach that statement to the customer card as the latest statement. And the portal knows when your customer clicks this download button to download that latest statement. So it doesn't matter what day of the current month they look at this page, which will always be up to date to today. The download button will download the last statement you generated for them when you were happy that the month end was done. So that's the statements functionality. On the transactions page, this is basically your customer ledger entry table with the different document types, the document numbers, dates, due dates, reference numbers, amount including VAT, and the balance of the amounts. You can filter for open transactions, invoices only, credits only, or payments only. And doesn't matter what that you filtered on, if your customer clicks on this little button here, that'll generate that actual invoice. It will use the invoice layout and the specific invoice report in Business Central that you have asked us or developed yourself. That'll download that actual invoice. And in the case of a payment, it'll download the actual payment voucher or the remittance advice for that payment so that your customer can see what was settled. The files section gives you the ability to attach any kind of files that you want to the customer. And you do that using the standard Business Central capability for attaching document attachments to customers. For instance, here in our database, if I go to a customer card and I look at attachments here, any attachments I've made here can be shared to the portal. And then your customer will see those attachments here, and it'll be grouped into, let's call it labels or folders, by whatever labels or folders you created. There's also the ability for you to upload reports, such as in this case, again, we have a tool in Business Central that comes with the portal where you can schedule specific reports that you want to run and auto attach to the customer card. This customer here has a stock on hand report for their customers' stock that they ship, and it runs every day and it attaches to each customer card, and then customers simply can come here, click on reports, click on that button and download the report. You're allowed at this stage up to 3 different reports that you can have on the shortcut here, and then your customer has access to any reports that you want to share with them in an easy to find navigation structure. Okay, so that's the customer portal. Now, the exact opposite is available as I said, the vendor portal. I'm just going to refresh the data here. And here you can see it gives your vendor also a financial summary of their account, upcoming orders they have to deliver with you, summary of deliveries at the bottom. Here's the order list of what needs to be delivered, what is upcoming, what has been partially delivered, what's complete, even forecast orders. with the same search capabilities, view capabilities, etc. And then if we look at something like the deliveries, this is what was on time, early, etc. Also with the ability to download the GRN or to view the delivery. Transactions is the same. In this case, it's the vendor ledger entries. Again, they can download any attachments you've attached to a specific delivery for them using the normal document attachments in Business Central, and they can print the delivery note or the invoice or the credit memo. Files work exactly the same. Any files you've attached to the vendor will be listed here for them to download, and you can shortcut some reports that you want to share with them as well. Then the third version of the portal that I wanted to touch on is the vendor portal specifically for ProduceLink users. So this we call the producer portal. It's roughly the same, like I said, financials here, but instead of orders and deliveries, this has some summaries for your producers, such as the current season information about receipts of fruit that you've done. What of those have you finalized in terms of produce bill finalizations? What have you finalized but not paid yet? And then what have been finalized and paid to them? And then an intake summary by commodity this season, last season, just some information there. And then some quality graphs of the current last 16 weeks or so. We can increase this if needs be, just per week, what the mix between amber, green, red, etc. Quality codes are in all of the quality reports that you've recorded for this producer. By the way, these classifications, these quality classifications are driven from your setup in ProduceLink in Business Central. So if you don't use amber, green, and red and whatever, this will actually show your specific quality codes and show the ratios of those per week. So that's the dashboard. The transaction page here is exactly the same as on the customer and vendor portal. This is the ledger entries of your producer. The only exception here is that the attachments and the downloads on each transactions are intelligent, so that if an invoice was the result of a produce bill, then downloading this document here will actually generate the produce bill payment advice. And this little sheet icon, if it was a produce bill related invoice, will download the produce bill data sheet that you usually send out to accompany your account sales to your producers. So this version of the portal understands the ProduceLink and talks to the ProduceLink in things in the background. The files and the reports are the same as for the other portals. You can share files with your producers. You can shortcut reports for them here, and the rest is the same. We aim to, with this new version, we aim to be able to really add, quite a bit of options to the dashboard and the graphs here. We don't want to replace a sort of Power BI capabilities. This is not the plan with this, but this new platform does give us the option to be more graphical and present more useful information to your producers or to your vendors or to your customers on the dashboards when we log in. I might also add here that one of the reasons we're also moving to this new platform is that to date, our portal apps have only been read-only. So your producers, your vendors, or your customers are reading data out of your Business Central. But we plan with this new platform in the very near future to start offering also write access, which means we can now do things like on the customer portal, we can, for instance, make it possible for your customers to actually submit new orders to you, so that those orders end up in Business Central. We're excited about that. Other small things like having the ability to ask your customers to update certain of their account information, like if their address or their telephone numbers change or something like that, and you will then be able to ask them to change that in the portal, and it will update Business Central also in real time. We're also going to maintain the mobile app version capabilities of the portal. Here I just have a little demo iPhone running. I'll just reload this data, but just to show that, for example, if a customer from their phone logs into the customer portal, the statement will render in a way that's more readable, and they can also get to things like their transaction list, also filter by different transactions, and also click on the download buttons to, for instance, download a specific invoice. In this case, here it downloads a PDF of the invoice on this iPhone, and there is the invoice attachment. Okay, so that's the mobile version of the portal, and that concludes the overview of the portal itself. I'll just quickly switch to the meeting section to see if there's any questions yet, which I can answer. Tracy, hi, will we have the option to set up custom reports per vendor on the Grower portal? You can attach any reports that you want to specific vendors already on BC, and then those will be available for that vendor and that vendor only. If you want to use our report shortcuts, those typically are generated for all vendors, or at least for the vendors you've filtered, and then attached that report to each of those vendors with just that vendor's data. And of course, if each of those vendors or any of those vendors have a custom layout for such a report, then the report will be attached to the vendors with their specific layout included. If that's what you're referring to, then yes. However, if you're saying you want a specific report to run only for this vendor or that vendor, it's possible, but you're going to run out of slots, I think, on the list of shortcut reports. So maybe we can just qualify that a little bit more. But yeah, I think there's already a lot of flexibility in what you can do there. Johan Rabe, you're asking, can the customer portal be configured to include Produce Link type custom information along with Produce trade details such as extra container numbers, FC numbers, etc.? 100%, Johan. We don't currently have a Produce Link specific flavor of the customer portal like we have the vendor flavor for producers on the vendor portal. But this new platform makes it super quick for us, and it is our intention when we launch this new version, which is going to be before the end of May. Our plan is to also launch a Produce Link version of the customer portal with specifically this kind of information in it. Can you load multiple users per customer and vendor? Yes, you absolutely can. So if you have 5 users at a particular customer or 4 users at a particular vendor that you want to give access to the portal, you can load multiple users, each linked to the same vendor number or customer number within your Business Central database. So that's absolutely fine. And our pricing for the portal app is also not based on the number of companies you want to give the portal to, nor is it based on the number of users you want to give access to the portal. So our portal is priced at a flat fee basis, 1 fee for the customer portal, 1 fee for the vendor portal. We sell those as separate portals, and it's a flat fee irrespective of the number of companies or the number of users you want to give access to. Okay, before I move on to the next and last section of the webinar, which is about the rest of our our apps, just an overview and an introduction. Is there any final questions anybody has about the portal? Don't worry if you can't think now, but you think before the end of the meeting, you can still post it on the Q&A and I'll circle back on it. Okay, so next I want to tackle the topic of the apps, the other apps, and just a brief overview of where to find this information, and I'll highlight one or two specific apps. So as you may or may not know, we at Link develop a whole number of apps, and many of you, of our customers, already use at least one, often more of our apps that are installed in your Business Central environment that adds functionality to Business Central that Business Central doesn't have out of the box. In the past, we didn't have a lot of information about these apps, but we have, over the last few months, been working hard to do a couple of things. One, we are moving as many of our apps as we can over to AppSource, which is Microsoft's official app store, where these apps can be accessed and downloaded for free into sandboxes and tested. And it also really makes it easy for us to deploy and update these apps in your environments. And also Microsoft tests those apps for basic technical standards. So there's a level of certification involved in that. So we're doing that. And then also we have started to make sure that we build documentation for these apps so that you can see what the apps are about. And we're about halfway there with the apps. We've also on our website given a whole new section to all the apps that we offer. So if you click on this app shortcut on our website, then there's this summary page which lists currently all of the apps that we have available. There are a few that aren't on this list yet that we're still working on the pages for. And then for each of these apps, you'll see that we have the subscription price per app, and most of our apps here is a flat fee per tenant, meaning per installation, not per company, not per user. A brief description of the app, and then a read more, which will take you to a dedicated page for that app, and a shortcut to the App Store, Microsoft App Store, which is called AppSource, where you can actually see more detail about the app and actually install it into your production or your sandbox environment with a click of a button. So let me give you an example of some of the documentation. Let's look at this one here, the extended document attachments. If I click on read more, it'll take us to a dedicated page describing the functionality of this particular app, what it does, who would benefit from using it, and then a brief explanation of what the features are of this app, document flow, etc. Then we repeat at the bottom what the pricing is. I'll show you the shortcut to the App Store now, but first let's take you to the documentation for this app. This will take you to a documentation site. Some apps are very simple, so the documentation is fairly limited, but if we look at an example on the apps here of something like Comlink, which is a commodity trading app, if you look at the read more information there's a lot of information here, and if we look at the documentation section, you see that it's a full overview of what the app does, a whole setup guide, a whole user guide, technical documentation, entity relationship diagrams, etc., etc. So we're working hard to try and catch up and make all of our apps fully documented. Here you can see for that same app, if we go to the App Store, take you to the App Store. This is Microsoft's AppSource. Here's another overview of the app, a couple of screenshots, and on the detail and support section, what the latest version is, etc. All of this. And most importantly, this free trial here, if you click on that button, it will actually log you into your Business Central environment and attempt to help you install this app in your chosen environment. I'm not going to do that now, but that's what the App Store does. Yes, so I'd encourage you to have a look at this apps page again on our website, link.co.za. And right at the top, there's the apps section, and then you'll see a list of all of the apps we have available and what they do. So you get to the bottom here, you'll see that some of the apps don't yet have a read more section or a documentation section. It's just that we still have to get there. So if you see anything here that sparks your interest, please drop us a mail if you want to find out about what this app does and whether it can help you in any way, shape, or form, and we'll gladly tell you what it does and help you take you through it. We will also, in the next couple of months, decide which of these apps deserve a webinar of their own to take you through some of the functionality. So please, if any of you have any ideas of which of these apps you want to have a look at in more detail from a marketing or a webinar perspective, please drop me a mail or somebody at Link, and we will schedule that. Right, I'm going to return to the Q&A now. I don't see any new questions in the Q&A. We have about 5 minutes left of the official time of the event. So I'll give another minute just to see if there's some final questions that anybody wants to ask. Feel free. Or if you want to put your hand up and speak, I'll also allow that. No questions? Doesn't look like it. Okay, so nobody's asked probably the most important question, which is what is the price of the Portal app? So the Portal app subscription is, like I said, a flat fee per month, and it's not limited to users or companies. And it's 4,000 Rand a month for the customer portal, and 4,000 for the vendor portal, or 4,000 for the producer portal in the ProduceLink case. So each one of those flavors of the portal is 4,000 flat fee per month. And then you can add as many users and customers that you want. And that's it. Please reach out to us if you want to have a go with the portal. We'll gladly include you in the new release that will come out in May. Right, if there's no more questions, then thank you very much for your time today, and have a great long weekend and semi-school holiday next week, I guess. And be safe wherever you go. You may now leave the meeting. I'll keep it on for a few seconds.